And I am live. Yeah, I'm live. All right. How's it going, everybody? Thank you for joining me. This is the very first episode of Shadowcast, the show where we discuss news and analysis of the entertainment industry, specifically books, movies, TV, and video games. So, yeah, very first episode. Very excited about it. Thank you for joining me. A couple of notes before I get started. This is my first time doing something like this, so I'm gonna make mistakes. I'm gonna mess up a lot, probably. And if I do, I ask that you please flame me because I deserve it. Um, Also, we're gonna be talking about some stuff that some people want to experience for themselves, like some video games or some books that people haven't been able to experience yet. I'm gonna do my best to avoid spoilers. I ask that you do as well in the comments in the chat. Um, yeah, just let's just avoid spoilers. Let's try to respect everybody's ability to experience the things that we experience. Um, and yeah, I think we can just get into this. So let's see. All right. This week, this is the segment where I sort of recap my week and how I've experienced the entertainment industry, and I talk a little bit about the books I've read, the movies or the TV shows that I've seen, and the video games that I played. Um, so I will start that now. Uh, all right. So this week, I've read Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Brandon Sanderson is someone that we're going to talk about later. I probably should have. Doesn't matter. Okay, so Brandon Sanderson, yeah, is a person we're going to talk about later. But Warbreaker is a kind of a standalone novel by Brandon Sanderson. It's set in his Cosmere universe, which is his shared his shared universe. But it's not really dependent on any of his other stories. It's just kind of set in the universe, which is really cool because you can kind of experience it without having to get the context of the rest of the Cosmere. Um, it features two princesses, two royal sisters, one of which is sent to marry the God King of the land, and the other one goes after her to rescue her. And both sisters get wrapped up in the sort of political intrigue and the mysteries and the secrets of the gods and the God King, the the gods of which sort of walk around among the humans and wield a sort of political authority rather than just being a purely spiritual authority, which I think is really interesting. I think that's a really cool way to examine theocracy. Uh, um, but yeah, it was a really really interesting read. I think that I'm trying not to spoil anything, but yeah, I think that if you're into sort of political intrigue, uh, like the solving a mystery, like it's almost a thriller novel. Like there's not so much in the way of action, but there's a lot in the way of like interpersonal connections and sort of self perception. Sort of what does it mean to be whatever it is you think you are, whether it be a god or a leader. I think that Warbreaker is the book for you. And I actually read it on I got the audiobook. I had it read to me on Audible. Um, I find that Audible really helps to digest books, especially while I'm doing other stuff. So yeah, Yeah, that was Warbreaker. I definitely recommend Warbreaker. Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. Do definitely check that out. For what I played this week, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm I really have to try to not spoil anything. Um, I haven't finished Forbidden West yet. I'm about halfway through. Um, but so far it's a contender for Game of the Year. It's probably one of the best pieces of media that I've been able to consume, even in the last couple of years. Um, excuse me. Yeah, it's the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn and is one of the most hotly anticipated game releases of this release cycle. And I think that it deserves the hype. It's a vast improvement on the story, which was already very good. The action combat and the crafting mechanics are improved and made much better. Um, I think the standout improvement, the standout advancement on the game is the visuals. Everything in that game looks beautiful, including the people and the character models, the animation of the character models. They look so lifelike, human-like, like not so much like a simulacrum that previous generations of games sort of can't help but make them, just make them look like stick figures or very scripted objects. Um, it's I'm playing it on the PS5, and it's using every bit of the PS5's hardware and processing power. So yeah, I gotta recommend Horizon Forbidden West. I haven't finished it yet. I think when I do finish it, I will release a review on this channel. So stay tuned for that. And what did I what did I watch this week? This week I managed to watch the entirety of season 1 of Vox Machina. Um, Vox Machina is an animated show on Amazon Prime that follows the characters from the show Critical Role, which is a web show where Matt Mercer uh, DMs a D&D game for a bunch of celebrities, basically. Um, I don't watch Critical Role. I really know anything about the characters, or I've played D&D, but I don't really have any interest in sitting still for 3 hours and watching somebody else play D&D. So I've never watched it, and I feel like that probably hinders my enjoyment of Vox Machina. Not so much. By the time the later episodes get around, you feel a little bit better about watching it. But the first few episodes, especially the first 2 episodes, made me feel like like it was a show that wasn't for me. Like it wasn't made for me. I felt better about it by the time the later episodes came around, and it felt a little bit more like a conventional storytelling experience. But yeah, it was a good show. I'm just not very convinced about its staying power, and going forward, is it gonna remain a good show? Is it gonna stay even relevant? It might. I don't know. I don't think it's going to grab the sort of audience that it probably needs to stay around. But yeah, that was this week. So I kind of want to know what you guys this week was like, entertainment wise. So what games did you play? What didn't even want to see the Batman. I meant to see the Batman this weekend, and I just got wrapped up in a bunch of other stuff, and I wasn't able to. So you guys let me know. Did you see the Batman? Did you like it? Please be careful of spoilers, because I am gonna go see it. what games did you play? What books did you read? Yes, please, please let me know how your week was, basically. Okay, moving on. Very first story. God damn it. There we go. Am I gonna do it? I am gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. Prepare for trouble. There's a new Pokemon game. And make it double. This joke was lame. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, the newest mainline additions in the Pokemon franchise, have been announced. They're slated to, well, I don't really have any concrete. They're probably going to release in November of this year, which is kind of close since there was a Pokemon game released just like last month. But then a bunch of people were telling me that Legends Arceus was not a mainline game. So I guess that doesn't matter. I don't know. But I do have a little bit of information on that. We do know that it is set in a region that is inspired by Spain and Portugal, which is actually pretty interesting. And you can kind of tell by the architecture of the buildings and the surroundings, some of the clothes that the characters are wearing, and definitely the names of the Pokemon that we know about. I think it's Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxley. Yeah, those are very Hispanic-sounding names, and I like it. Especially Sprigatito. I think everybody likes Sprigatito the most, because it is just a weed cat, right? It's a cat, a grass cat, that is on all fours, and I think that's something that a lot of people are nervous about, is that they're going to evolve Sprigatito into something that stands on two legs and wears pants. And they need to not do that. Scarlet and Violet will be open world games. There will be seamless transitions when entering and exiting towns. That's really interesting to me. It's a true open world is what they're trying to say. Even the battling is going to occur in the open world, like without transitioning into a sort of instance to battle. It's the actual battle sequences is taking place in the overworld, which is a really interesting sort of shift from the regular Pokemon formula. And shifts in the Pokemon formula are interesting because they've had pretty much the same formula for 20 years. And only lately have they been switching it up and changing things that they seem to have been hesitant to change. And for good reason, because the games keep getting consumed the way that they are. And they don't want to ruin that formula. But now they're changing the formula in very big overt ways, like how battles and encounters work. So that's gonna be interesting. And then we get a good first look at the starters. Quaxley looks dumb. He probably will look better by the time he evolves. But the other two I like. Sprigatito and Fuecoco. I like those two. Especially Sprigatito. I haven't played a Pokemon game, like any Pokemon game, except for Pokemon Go, since Black and White. So I don't really know what to expect. But Scarlet and Violet are the first Pokemon games that I actually feel like I might be interested in. Not excited. I'm not not excited about it yet. I don't know enough to be excited. Um, but it's piqued my interest, and I'm gonna follow it, and I might try to pick it up. Especially it's for the Switch. It's gonna be released on the Switch, so and since I have a Switch and I can just put it on my TV, and it might be fun. It might be something relaxing and interesting because I used to love Pokemon. I grew up with Pokemon. Uh, and I kind of grew out of it because it didn't change. And I did. But if Pokemon is starting to implement changes that are more than just blow a Pokemon up and make him huge like Godzilla, uh, I think I could get into it. We'll have to see though. But I'm making it clear now, and I'm saying it for everyone to hear. If they put that cat in a pair of pants, I'm going to burn this continent down. Don't put pants on that cat. Just don't do it. Keep him a quadruped. Hashtag keep it quad. That could be a thing, right? Hashtag keep it quad. Make it a thing. You do your thing, Twitter. All right. Yeah, okay. Gonna move on to the very next story. In other Monster Tamer news, Coromon is getting its release this month, at the very end of this month. Coromon has an official release date. The Monster Battler, developed by Tragsoft and published by Freedom Games, is slated to release on March 31st. It'll be available on PC, Mac, and Nintendo Switch. So Coromon is a very interesting project to me. I actually played the demo of it on Steam. You can download the demo on Steam right now. It's sort of, it calls back to the original Pokemon games. Not like all the way back, but the sort of pixel art, the feeling of moving through the world top down and encountering creatures in tall grass. It really does call to mind the older games, which you think, given what I just said about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet being different, and that's why I'm interested in them. You'd think that that Coromon being inspired by the classic games wouldn't interest me in that much, but it's different in a lot of other ways. It takes a lot of deviations from the Pokemon formula that I think work really well, and I'm really very excited about being able to get in and actually play the game instead of just the vertical slice that was made available in the demo, which was substantial, by the way. It was a lot for just a demo. It felt like you got to play a very decent amount of the game. The boop, 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 boop. I wrote that down, but that feels like spoilery. I'm not going to go into what I wrote down, but there's a mechanic in Pokemon where you can find shiny Pokemon, and I thought that was a cool mechanic like the first time it happened, when I got a golden Pichu from an egg, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. But I never ever felt the need to hunt for shinies. It just felt so much, not like a waste of time, but just like tedious. There's a mechanic in Coromon where it's basically like shiny hunting, but with more of a point than just like having a shiny. I'm gonna try and not spoil it, but it's got more of a point. Finding the different variations of Coromon, is interesting, and it's part of why I played the demo for as long as I did. But I'm definitely gonna pick this up, and I'll probably be doing a review on this channel of Coromon once I get a chance to play it and beat the game, finish the game. So, Coromon, yeah, releasing on PC, Mac, and Nintendo Switch. That's also pretty interesting. It's releasing on Switch as well as on PC. Yeah, that's Coromon. March 31st. All right, let's get to the next story here. What time is it? We're making some good time. I'm gonna try to get this wrapped up by about 8:45, but in between a couple of them, I want to try and have like discussions, or if anyone wants to like chime in with into the chat, engage with me, ask me any questions. I'm open to answer any questions. You want my opinion on one of the pieces of entertainment media that I've discussed, or you have a question about it, please do let me know. It'll it sort of pads out the runtime if I'm engaging with the audience. But also I do want to start a discussion. I want to be able to engage with people who care about this stuff as much or close to as much as I do. So yeah, if you guys have any questions or anything, just jump in the chat and let me know. All right, let's go ahead and move on to our next story. All right. Also, let me know how that Pokemon joke went. If that was something that landed for you. I thought I did pretty well. All right. The Marvel properties that previously released on Netflix are now making the move to Disney+. The shows like Daredevil, Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and others will have been removed from Netflix and will be made available to stream on Disney+ March 16th. This move comes with the new parental features added to Disney's streaming service. So this was a really interesting story for me, mostly for the industry implications. This is clearly a consolidation tactic. Disney and Marvel, they want more control over their properties, so they have their own robust streaming service that's already proven to have its own staying power and be be profitable, be lucrative. So it was really only a matter of time until they took everything from other streaming services, put them on their streaming service, and just got even more viewership and more subscriptions. It's a savvy industry move, and it's one that was easily predicted. It seems on the surface to be a little out of character for Disney, because these shows are not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but the Daredevil and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, they're what is it? TVMA. They're very mature in their content and in their content. And Disney doesn't seem to. it doesn't seem like to many people like the company that would want to um, bring those two close. You know what I mean? They they sort of have a reputation of being kid friendly, family friendly, and it doesn't seem like they would want to sort of jeopardize that image of themselves to a lot of people. It doesn't seem like they would want to risk alienating some viewers because of bringing in more mature content. I well, I disagree with that for a couple of reasons. Number one is the added parental control features, so that you can filter out the mature content pretty easily. That's just an easy solution to that issue. Um, but also it doesn't really make sense to kind of the way that Pokemon did, where the games just didn't really change for 20 years, and then all of a sudden, they had to they sort of lost the older generation, the first generation of people who played their games, and just replaced them with the new generation. That doesn't seem like a viable business strategy. It worked for Pokemon, but for Disney, it's just not a viable strategy. They had to find a way to retain their older audiences, and it wasn't hard to do. It just wasn't a hard thing to implement. I'm actually surprised that it took this long to get their shows off of other streaming services and put them on their own streaming service that they control. The thing about it that concerns me most, I think, is that with those properties on their streaming service, solely on their streaming service, they have a little more control over what the content shows, what is actually made available. Like, you can see right now, it's not available anywhere. You can't watch Daredevil on Netflix because it's off of Netflix, and it hasn't been uploaded to Disney Plus yet. It hasn't been released on Disney Plus yet. They're not going to. They could just keep that content like in their vault, off of the streaming service, off of any streaming services. Or they could omit certain parts of the content to make it a little more palatable and a little more in line with the image that Disney has. That kind of scares me. I don't want them doing that. I don't want them to dilute the mature content in the shows that we sort of expect to be mature. It's a possibility, and I don't think that it will happen. I don't think that they will try to censor any of the content, but it is a definite possibility, and it's something that I want to look out for and make sure that I'm vigilant and that I know if it's happening, that I know that it's happening, because I do not like that. It would bother me if they had tried to change or omit any of the content that that is marketed at the way that it's supposed to be, mature and sometimes difficult to experience, but that's part of the show, and it's part of what made the shows that we watch fun, them enjoyable at all. But yes, March 16th, the Marvel Netflix shows will be made available on Disney Plus. Let's see here. We're going to talk a little bit. Let's see. Brittany says, They want more subscribers that don't have children. Maybe this is a way to attract their older audiences, especially with the ability to have parental controls for families. Yes. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. They There's a huge market of people, millennials, that don't have kids and are kind of struggling to find reasons to pay what is it, $15 a month for a streaming service. They're poor. We're poor. Millennials are poor. Nobody's paying us. And yeah, it's kind of hard to justify a $15 a month cost for old cartoons that are nostalgic and have value in nostalgia, but don't really stimulate us the way they did when we were younger. But having this mature content, shows like Daredevil and like Jessica Jones, stimulates us in a way that is more meaningful now. And I think you're right. Disney is starting to get wise to that, and they're starting to they're starting to realize that that's the way that they're gonna want to get into that untapped market of poor millennials that just want stimulation. Yes, yeah. Thank you for that. For your chat, for your comment. That was very appreciated. Hi, by the way. Thank you for watching. All right. Moving on to yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. This is going to be the big story. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Brandon Sanderson is an incredibly prolific author and one of my personal heroes. It is with a heavy heart, then, that I must report that Brandon Sanderson is trying to kill me. Let me explain. This week, acclaimed fantasy author Brandon Sanderson made a startling announcement on his YouTube channel. During the pandemic, Brandon Sanderson managed to write 5 secret projects in addition to the projects, revisions, and releases that everyone already knew about. That's crazy. I don't know how much he typically writes in a year, but I know that he releases something like 2 to 3 books every year. Not every year, but like in recent years. I know just last year he released book 4 of Stormlight, which was... Hold on a second. Give me 1 second. Give me just 1 second. Okay. All right. This is Brandon Sanderson book. This is Rhythm of War. This is the 4th book in the Stormlight Archives, and it is a thick bastard. Look at that. You need to look at that. That is a book. That is a book. You could crush a baby raccoon with this. I mean, not that you would. That's how much that he writes. And he had to have that edited and revised last year before it could be released. That's just one book. You should see the sheafs of paper that he showed on his video. You got to go see the video. They're huge. It's huge stacks of just books. 5 of them. How did he actually find the you know what? I gotta move on. Okay. But that's how he's gonna kill me. Like, that's how he's gonna kill me right there. I have to leave the house to go to work. You know, I have to do things. I have to eat sometimes and sleep occasionally. I'm not going to be able to do that next year because I'm going to be reading Brandon Sanderson books all the time. So yeah, he's trying to kill me. In all seriousness, though, and I'm as an independent and struggling fantasy author. It's incredibly inspiring to see anyone, but especially someone who's my hero, just crank out books like that. Just really buckle down and strap himself in and just crank out books. He really does live in his fantasy worlds, and it's an inspiration to me, and it inspires me to work harder and be better at it. Be better at writing and getting it done. You know, getting into the world and really telling the stories. He's an incredible storyteller, and I know that all of those 5 books are going to be amazing. I think three or four of them are going to be set in the Cosmere, which again is his which again is his shared world series, but it's a shared world between most of his written works, many of his written works. Sort of his magnum opus, it appears. And 4 of these secret novels are going to be set in the Cosmere, which is crazy. God, I'm going to have no time next year. But yeah, just to clarify, he has written these books. They were written. They're done. He needs to revise and edit them and then get all the publishing BS done. But the stories are done. They are written. That's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. One more time. Just. Okay. All right. This is The Wren and the Raven. This is my book. I took 10 years to write this book. This story has been rattling around in my brain for 10 years. And it's this. Can you see it? Yeah, it's this. That's 10 years. And he did 5 of these in 2. A lesser man would be jealous. A lesser man. Lesser than me. I'm not jealous. So, moving on. Because that's not even the craziest part of this story. You've probably seen it on the images right there already, but we're gonna move on here. In relation to his secret writing projects, Brandon Sanderson announced the launch of a Kickstarter campaign aimed at funding the production of these books and rewarding fans and backers. That Kickstarter goal was set at $1 million. That's a lot of dollars. It surpassed that goal within 35 minutes, making it the fastest ever funded project on Kickstarter. And then it kept getting funded. Within 24 hours, it had raised over $15 million, which is another record. The amount raised within 24 hours on Kickstarter. The universe said that's enough slices, and Brandon Sanderson's he didn't say anything. He just smiled and just sat back while like that. He just while his Kickstarter continued to accrue funding. At $20 million raised, the Kickstarter campaign for 4 secret novels by Brandon Sanderson became the most successful Kickstarter project of all time. It's now Saturday, March 5th, and the amount raised... This isn't even... I have written down here, the amount raised now is $23.8 million with just over 100,000 backers. That's not even true anymore. Because... Let me see if I can... Because the number keeps going up. Let's see if I can... Okay. God. So the amount raised now is 24 million 87,000. Okay, it just went up to 88,000, and the backers is over 101,000. Like, that's crazy. That I don't know if the casual observer can really fathom how insane that is. These are books. It was previously thought that a Kickstarter like this for a book probably wouldn't for a book to be published. Like, he has already written it. Like that's already done. For a book to be published and brought to the market, probably, according to convention, shouldn't have been that lucrative and that successful. That's according to conventions. That's according to to big publishers that market books for to survive as companies, as publishers. 101,000 backers and $24 million raised. I can't even. That's exciting to me for a number of different reasons. Number one, I am an independent author. I like to be independent. I will probably need something like Kickstarter to fund my books, because again, I'm poor as well. But yeah, I will probably need something like Kickstarter or some sort of crowdfunding to fund my books through the publishing phase as well. And I know that I'm not going to raise $24 million. I'll probably not raise, $10,000, but I can use this, and I can use the social media strategy that Brandon Sanderson has just laid out to get my piece. And I think a lot of other independent authors are probably, hopefully, looking at this the exact same way. More than that, though, I hope that publishers are looking at it that way, because that's how you market books now. I marketed The Wren and the Raven using Amazon ads, paid ads by Amazon and Google, and I did not see acceptable numbers, sales at all. Even though that's what that's what I was told to do as an author. Even though I'm an independent author and I'm self-published, it just makes me the publisher. And I was told by publishing blogs that that's how that's not the way anymore. Brandon Sanderson basically took the industry, stuck it in a giant cartoon slingshot, and shot it into the future of social media marketing. And he literally wrote the playbook of how to market your projects. And it's not so much. It's very impressive that he wrote 5 books in 2 years, in addition to all of the other books that he was writing that everyone just knew about. But the most impressive thing about this story is how much he has changed the industry of publishing. And I don't think we're going to see immediately the results of that, because I think a lot of the big publishers are going to be slow and resistant to adopting the new strategy. Again, for the same reason that Pokemon just didn't change their gameplay formula substantially for 20 years. Something has worked for this big company for a long time, and big companies do not like to change, because they can't predict what will happen if they do. So I predict that it's going to be the smaller, more independent, more flexible publishing houses that pick up on this and see, just how lucrative and how effective this sort of marketing strategy can be. $24 million. That's something that shouldn't be ignored, but big publishing houses will feel like they can ignore that, and the smaller ones, they're not going to ignore it. They're going to see why this worked, and hopefully they're going to emulate it, and that will make authors like me who really have no interest in I had no interest in a publisher, or being told how my story should be told, or what my cover should look like, or the font, or no. I had no interest in any of that. I wanted to have total control over my project. I predict that more independent authors like myself are going to gravitate to publishers who are doing this thing, who are showing that they are media savvy, social media savvy, technology savvy. They can use crowdfunding sites like Kickstarter, and they're with the times, and they're better poised to make the money that Brandon Sanderson just showed you can make with a proper successful marketing campaign. And obviously it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that you just kind of stumble into, and you don't have to prepare or be studious and effective as a social media marketer. But the more publishers and the more authors that walk that path, the more worn that path will get, and the easier it will be to see. And the more successful people, publishers and authors and people get by walking this path, and by following the Brandon Sanderson strategy of social media marketing and crowdsourcing, crowdfunding, the more people that are successful that way, the more authors like myself will want to go that path, and will want to get their piece by doing the same thing. So this right here, the Brandon Sanderson Kickstarter for 4 secret projects. The 5th secret project, I believe, is getting turned into a graphic novel, which is pretty cool. The Brandon Sanderson Kickstarter for 4 secret novels made history. It made publishing history. I think that I think that we're going to see that in the years to come, especially once the next year comes and we start getting quarterly releases of these secret novels, and people just start getting hyped and excited for them, like all over again. Excuse me, but yeah, yeah, that's it. Really was history in the making. It is history in the making. It's something that we're still watching happen, and I don't think that enough people are going to take notice of that right away, or soon enough to get the most that they can out of this strategy. But I hope that independent authors start looking at this critically. I know I will, and I'm myself. I'm going to be on the lookout for other publishing houses, smaller publishing houses that are looking at this strategy and are talking about it and showing that they are receptive of it, because this is the winning strategy now. This is the way that the industry works now. Definitely go check out Brandon Sanderson's Kickstarter. It's still up because it only went up like 3 days ago. I can't remember. Only a couple of days ago. 24. It's gonna run until the 31st, I believe. What is it gonna look like in another 3 weeks? I don't know, man. It's gonna be crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, definitely go check out Brandon Sanderson's Kickstarter if you are interested in fantasy. If you have never read a Brandon Sanderson novel before, I would. He recommends you start with Elantris, which was his first published novel. That is a thick boy as well. I think you should, if you want to get into Brandon Sanderson, you should either start with Stormlight Archive or Mistborn. I think Mistborn is a very good portal into Brandon Sanderson's Cosmere. But if you are a Sanderson fan, like I am, see here, Pete the shirt. Yeah, that's right. I'm repping. Yeah, if you're a Brandon Sanderson fan like I am, and you should do like I am, and go to the Kickstarter and see if you can, how much you can pledge, because it's a big offering. It's a lot. Do definitely check that out. All right. It is. Hold on 1 second. There we go. Yep. It is 8:53. The show is very nearly over. Now I kind of want to open it up to anyone who wants to sort of engage, drop a chat, ask some questions. You have any comments about anything that I've covered here today. Pokemon Violet, Scarlet and Violet, the release of Coromon, the Netflix shows, Brandon Sanderson. I could talk about Brandon Sanderson all day. I will have to eventually just do a Brandon Sanderson day, where it's just an hour of me talking about Brandon Sanderson, his works, and his winning smile. Yeah, this wasn't bad. This was the episode 1, the inaugural episode of Shadowcast. I hope you guys had fun. I was extraordinarily nervous doing this. You have no idea. I was shaking. But this was a lot of fun. There's a couple. I think the most viewers we had were 6 viewers. That's more than any of my gaming videos. So I'm real glad you guys came out. I'm glad you showed up. Please let me know if any of this was exciting or fun for you. it was a lot of fun for me. I can't wait to do more. That's going to be every Saturday at 8 p.m. On this channel. I'm gonna be here. I'll have more stories. We'll be talking more about all kinds of entertainment news, analyses. What we got here? How many Sanderson books do you own? Oh, let's see. Yeah. So Nathan says, "How many Sanderson books do you own?" And he also says, "I did great." Thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you showing up. That really does mean a lot. How many Sanderson books do I own? So here, actually, let's do that. Let's just there we go. It's only 3, but it feels like 3 million. And then you, little guy. All right, so I own 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Sanderson books. That's all of the Stormlights that are out right now, except for Edge Dancer, which is a novella. But that's Way of Kings. God. My favorite one, Words of Radiance. What's that one? We got Oathbringer, and you already saw Rhythm of War. Is that? Then I'm working on this one right now. This is the newest release, Dawn Shard. Those are the physical books. On Audible, I own, let's see, all of those, that's 5. Wait, yeah, 5. I also own Edge Dancer, that's 6. What else? I started reading Steelheart, that's 7. What else? The Mistborn trilogy, so that's 10. Warbreaker, that's 11. Holy shit, that's a lot. That's way more than I thought I did. Wow. 11 books, 11 Sanderson books. That might be too much. Elantris, that's 12. God, that is so much. I actually started getting into Brandon Sanderson, like really into Brandon Sanderson about September last year. It's a lot to have crammed 12 books into my noggin in that amount of time, in like 6 months. That is a lot. Brittany says you're gonna have to do a Sanderson month, especially with all these new releases. Honestly, 2023 is probably gonna be a Sanderson year. With all the releases that are the secret releases. Remember, that's 4 releases for next year. Then he's also got his standard releases, like his 5th Stormlight book. That's gonna be coming out. He's working on the next Mistborn Wax and Wane book. I think it's called The Lost Metal. That, I believe, is coming out next year, if not at the end of this year. So it's gonna be so much to talk about. But yeah, he doesn't. That's what it is. He doesn't like the competition. I'm competition for him, and he doesn't want me writing any more books. So he's gonna distract me by putting out all the books that he knows I'm gonna have to read. I'd rather read them than sleep. So I think that's what it is. I think he doesn't want the competition. And you know what? Good for him. He effectively neutralized it, because I'm gonna be reading his books instead of writing my own. So, yeah. All right. It is 8:59. That appears to be the show. Thank you guys one more time for showing up for this, the very first episode of Shadowcast. I'm gonna get better. There were some missteps, but I really did have fun. I really enjoyed interacting with you guys. Let's see see here. I like the Pokemon joke. Keep it quiet. Hashtag keep it quiet. Let's make it a thing, guys. Let's take over Twitter. Let's make that a thing. Yes. Excellent. Yeah. Thank you guys one more time, for showing up. I hope you come back next week. I have no idea what I'm going to be talking about, but I will make it last an hour. I promise. Thank you. One more time. Thank you. And I will see you next time. Peace.